Okay, well, it has come to my attention recently. Well, I already knew this, but a certain Discord message prompted me to make this video where someone was like, I suggested using Tyranitar or Houndoom on a team with mono attacking a champ, only with cross chop, and then rest, sleep talk, curse. Because it's just permanently walled by every ghost in existence. And they're like, oh, okay, thank you, I was using Umbreon as support. And I'm like, oh, right. So let's explain why that was like a ugh moment. People don't know what mons fit on stall and what mons fit on offense. So, let's begin. Blissey, stall only, and not even just all stall, certain types of stall. Usually non-Raikou stuff. Blissey's great on stall because it lets you run Zapdos. Zapdos, double flying stall makes it harder for Salix to boom on your Skarmory, and makes it harder for Machamp stuff to get really irritating. Next up, Cloyster fits on offense and stall, but almost every offensive team carries it. And not Rapid Spin Cloyster, Explosion Cloyster, because you can only have Rapid Spin or Explosion. Eggy is pretty much just offense. It's just offense in its various permutations. Fori is mostly just seen on stall, but a couple offensive teams carry it. If you're running it on offense, the best set, I think, is Spikes, Spin, Giga Drain, Explosion. I think that's a pretty decent set to run on offense. Gengar. Some stall teams try it. I think it's not the greatest, but it is nice on the more offensive stall teams. But no, Gengar is primarily a offensive mon. I'll do a set compendium video for all these things. Golem is both. It fits perfectly on both. Though stall usually uses rest instead of explosion as the last move. Heracross, if it's Curse, Mega Horn, it probably is on an offensive team. If it's Sleep Talk, Seismic Toss, it's probably on a stall team. Just giving them more insurance against Machamp and like Whack and other stuff like that. Jinx, just offense. Jinx is kind of the anti-offense mon, and you run it on only offensive teams. Machamp, only offensive stuff. Marowak, it is an offensive Pokemon, but so much so that it can fit on stall. Stall uses like five stall mons and then an offensive mon usually as like kind of semi-stall stuff. And Marowak is commonly the last one, the offensive member of the stall team. Miltank is just stall. Do not run Miltank on offense. It's not worth it. Just don't do it. It just sucks. Don't run Miltank on offense. And I have to say the same about Missy. Like, you just lose all tempo completely. Even like, I'm even talking Perish Trap Missy. It's just like, maybe there's a little bit of stuff you can do with it, but just use Gengar. Just use Gengar even if you're using Perish Trap stuff on offense, because it's faster, it provides a threat. It doesn't scare out. It doesn't invite in the phasers. It scares them out. Though Hidden Power Water, Missy is a decent lure. I'll give it that. But yeah, it's usually pretty much relegated to stall, aside of some experimental stuff. Nidoking, this is offense. This is a great offensive boy. Raikou is both, but more so seen on stall nowadays. Raikou, in popular opinion, has fallen a lot. Even on stall, it can still run Thunder. On offense, you should always be running Thunder instead of Thunderbolt. Just Thunderbolt Raikou. It does nothing to Snorlax. Just literally no damage at all. It's really depressing. Rhydon, offense only. Like, it doesn't really work well on stall. it's just a powerful offensive mon that dies to Zapdos because you cry when you see Hidden Power Water. Skarmory. Unless you live in Latin America, don't keep your Skarmories off offense. Even if you live in Latin America, why do you put Skarmory, and Starmie on offense? That's just a thing that a lot of the that region does for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but because I don't agree with it at all. Because you lose all tempo, it just invites in half the offensive metagame because you're walling the other half of the offensive metagame. And it doesn't fit well on offense because you just lost your flow, like you lost your tempo, and gave the initiative to the other player. Which on stall, the initiative is like, I'm gonna make you, like, you have to find a way to make progress against me. I'm making you have to find a way to make progress. On offense with Skarmory, you send in your Skarmory, and then you're inviting them to send into their Zapdos and make progress. Snorlax, every team has a Snorlax. Don't be running the Toxic set or Belly Drum is just kind of weird on offense. It's better on stall, or at least have a Rapid Spinner with Belly Drum Lax. But like pretty much all the curse stuff fits pretty much everywhere. Like Toxic stuff fits on stall. Sleep Talk fits on everything. Starmie, it sees some use on offensive teams. I don't like it. If you want Thunder Wave, use Thunder Wave Zapdos, or even Thunder Wave Alakazam. But I don't like Thunder Wave Starmie on offense that much. Just use like Zam Golem or Zamfori if you really need spin that much. Steelix, pretty much just offense, and just certain types of like boom offense. Is what it commonly fits on. Suicune, only stall. Only stall. Just use it on stall teams. Like, please, I do not ever want to see this on an offensive team. It's like similar to losing tempo, except you don't really wall anything. You just check everything until they send in their Zapdos, and you just like, wait, I have to take Thunder with spikes down from my Snorlax again? Dang it. That's why you shouldn't be using Suicune. And if you're using the bull crap Mirror Coat set, just think about this. 30% of the time, it just doesn't even work. Even if you set it up correctly, and like they don't predict you to switch or anything, and you're the perfect range of health to live Thunder. 30% of the time, it just doesn't work. And just like, and now it's just a bad 1v1. It's just a really bad 1-for-1. Tyranitar is stall and offense. Commonly fits on stall as the Fire Lax check, but yeah, it just normally isn't phaser stuff and curse up and do fun shenanigans. On stall, it almost always has roar and commonly has rest. Now the main subject of why I felt so strongly about this, Umbreon. Yes, it technically can do pursuit support. Don't put this thing on an offensive team. It's one reason to be on an offensive team. A mean look pass is now butchered because, well, not even butchered, it's just gone. It's Venitoed, pieced out, it's gone. Umbreon has no place on offense. Umbreon has no place on most of stall teams as well. Umbreon has barely a place in OU at this point, I'd say. Vappy is offense, just pretty much offense. Can be baton pass stuff, or just can be a sweeper. Zapdos. It fits on both, like, pretty well. Blissey Stall loves Zapdos with all its heart. Blissey Zapdos is a pretty common combination for those teams. But Zapdos is also the premier offensive Pokemon other than Snorlax. It's the premier specially offensive Pokemon. So UUBL's Aerodactyl should only be on hyper offense or hard stall. Alakazam should only be on offense. Articuno should only be on very hard stall. Charizard should only be on standard offensive stuff, like not hyper offensive stuff. Clefable, it fits on hyper offensive stuff. It fits on stall stuff. Yeah. I think it has a place on spikeless offensive things. Okay. Huh. Not neat. Entei should only be on offense. It should just be on offense or Sun offense. Same with Moltres. Houndoom only fits on offense. Either of its sets. Is everything down? Okay. Yep, there goes the music. Huh. Internet crashed. Well, good thing OBS doesn't require internet. What are the ones that I know off the top of my head? Zam is just offensive stuff. Jolteon is hyper offensive stuff. Actually, if it's on all three. Because on hyper offense, it baton passes. On stall, it acts as a pseudo Raikou, but can growth sweep in the end game. And on just offensive stuff, it can growth pass as just like on an offensive team. It can just be a growth sweeper on an offensive team that's fast. And electric type. Electric types are good. What else am I missing? Lapras doesn't really have a place. Anything that is really kind of just stall? I don't know. Most of the UUBLs are all offensive in nature. The myriad of curse sweepers, the curse normal types in there, are all offensive. The Ursaring, Kangaskhan, what's its bucket? Tauros, Porygon 2. All of those are just offense. And Porygon 2, it seems like it maybe could do something on stall. Maybe. We could also kind of make Kangaskhan should find maybe a Kangaskhan stall team wouldn't be too horrible. You pair it with like a Firelax, and then in the end game you reveal your EQ Kangaskhan. Maybe. I don't know. I will think about making Kangaskhan teams. UUBL stuff. What else is UUBL? Oh, Dragonite is offensive or the hardest of hard do nothing stalls, depending on the set. Dawn Fan is just maybe some stall because it's got rapid spin, but just use Golem. Dawn Fan doesn't really have much of a place. Kingdra. Honestly, I don't really understand Kingdra. I know it just gets in and clicks Ice Beam, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. Meganium should be offensive because the only set you should be running on this thing is Swords Dance. Muck is offensive teams, just boom offensive teams specifically. Porygon 2, we've already went over that. Scizor is just hyper offensive baton pass. Next up is Smeargle, which is hyper offensive baton pass stuff or as a tempo lead in normal offense that replaces Cloister. Tauros should never be Curse EQ, in my opinion. Don't use that thing. Or even Sleep Talk EQ Double Edge has a place, but I don't like it. I love mixed Tauros. I think it's great on offensive teams, mixed offense stuff. Not so much boom offense, but I think it's great as a lure. Tentacruel is just offensive stuff. It SDs up behind a sub, and then clicks Sludge Bomb a bunch of times, and then looks at a Skarmory or a Fortress, and then Hydro Pumps them. Surf Tentacruel does depressing amounts of damage. Hydro Pump is where it's at. Typhlosion is just bad Entei. It's stronger, which is really nice, but it doesn't have Solar Beam or a powerful hidden power fighting, so it's just bad. First thing we know, our Venusaur should only be on offensive stuff. Maybe the Growth Sweeper on stall, but Growth or SD, depending on your set. Yeah, that's chill. Any of these have a place? Crobat can just be mean with mean look. Dodrio is actually kind of neat. I like this bird. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's very good at all. Haunter, haha. I've got like maybe a mini series coming out about Haunter. Piloswine fits on offense, is a wonderful electric check, but requires a good game plan into Cloister because it lets Cloister in for free. Nidoqueen kinda just can be like a bulkier Nidoking with Moonlight. Maybe you could put that on a stall team, but like, offense. Sandslash is just offense. Scyther is Baton Pass stuff or Endure stuff on really bad offensive teams. Victory Bell is a more offensive version of a multipolar version of Venusaur, except you can only SD. Raichu is only on certain types of offense, also called gimmick offense, like Rain Dance stuff. Dugtrio is only on hyper offense. Ghastly's only on a meme team. Don't expect to find much. Shuckle can be on hard, do nothing stall. Any NFEs that are actually decent? I mean, I don't think so. That's a huge Little Cup tier. So, or maybe it's not. I don't know a Little Cup much. This is, what was the word? Yeah, this is what, like, where everything finds its place or not. If it finds its place on stall, offense, hyper offensive, do nothing stall, explosion offense. Now you know. So stop putting Umbreons on offensive teams. Alright, see ya.